So today we are doing another fun modified Trudy. This is very similar to the embellished where I sewed the ears on with the bow. However, as these are not fully sewed down. I did use a little bit of Decorative Heavy to give the ears a little bit of rigidity. You don't have to do that, but I'll show you how I cut that out. Again, if you want to give it a little bit more professional appearance, you know, the 3-2-1, 3 base coat, 2 color, 1 top coat. For these, I am only sewing down, so I will completely top stitch all the way around, but then on the main panel, I am only sewing down a certain part really good, so that, you know, these still move. And since these are taller and a little bit bigger than the original embellishments on the other Trudy modification, I just wanted to do a separate video for this. So, what you need is your panel, and then you are going to need your embellishment or your horns or whatever we're going to call these. Now, I said I used Decorative Heavy, which I did, and what I did was I traced one of my pieces onto a piece of Decorative Heavy, and then I took it down about 3/8 of an inch, because you don't want to have too much into your seam allowance. Granted, you know, it's probably too much. You can do 1/4 inch, you can do, you know, 1/2 inch, your choice. But I took it in 3/8 of an inch, and then I would cut that out. So you have this like triangle-ish piece that would go very nicely right in the center. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to base my triangles down on my pieces, and I'll be right back. Once you get your pieces stabilized, you just want to line them up very nicely. You can use a little bit of double-sided tape to help hold in place, which is what I'm going to do. You don't need a lot, just a little bit, maybe. And again, you want to be mindful because the pieces, when you flip them back over, they will only have certain fronts that go to certain pieces. So like this has got a little bit longer edge on one side. So make sure you're matching up to the right pieces. The right front goes to the right back. So you have these. I'm going to take these to the sewing machine. You come with me, and I'm going to top stitch at 1/8 of an inch, leaving my threads long so I can tie them off in the back. You want to take your time, hand crank if necessary. So as you can see, it came off a little wobbly, but you definitely want to take your time as you're hand cranking. And then I'm going to pull my threads to the back and tie them off. All right, and then I will take my lighter and singe off whatever extra string there is. Now this piece would be technically ready to go start the edge coat process if I was going to edge coat. Alright, so now we can take these back to the panel and attach those. Now, these are much taller than the embellishments on the other video. So the seam allowance is extra strict. You have to make sure you are out of that 1 inch area. And then they're on the anime round specifically, that bunny thing has a skull. So that is going to be like your good key indicator. So I lined this corner up with that skull to help kind of keep this from getting too wonky. And if you remember the Trudy, you have to fold this down. So you draw a line at 0.75. So it's like 3/8 of an inch that you fold down. Now, depending on how high you put this could theoretically pop over the seam. And in fact, mine did. So I want to say the skull was a little higher. So you want to making sure when you are sewing the drop-in lining, being mindful and moving your knots out of the way. And one side is a little bit more sloped than the other. So that one's 3, 1, 2, 3 1/4. So I think technically this one goes over here. Putting the more sloped side, lining this up with where that skull would be, kind of like creative expression here, and pushing that down and doing the same thing for the other one. Well, you see, I didn't stay within my 1 inch. I was just being all fancy there. All right. I'm trying to line it up across from that one without being too... All right. That looks good. Now, what I'm going to do is I will not be sewing these all the way down. I'm not doing that. So what I will do is I will start about right here. Now, you can backstitch, you can leave your threads long. It's up to you what you do here. But I'm going to follow my top stitching all the way down from this point, going across the bottom here, going up here, across this, and then about equivalent up here. So that this is still loose, but this part is secured down. Again, you can backstitch really good at both points, or you can leave your threads long at both points. That is entirely up to you. Bunny, so be a bad bunny. That was a bad joke, but I thought it was funny. Going to tie my threads off and singe them. Crazy Nefarious. Alright, so as you can see, these are still loose. Almost kind of like a little secret pocket, like be a nice place to put some coins or something. Find the centers at the top and the bottom, and from this point you are good to continue making the Trudy. I've dropped the link for the original Trudy video below, so make sure you like and subscribe to Nefarious Stitches for any upcoming videos, modifications, and new stuff. So I can't wait to see all of your cool stuff out in the wild. So for now, ta-ta!